Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Curve. Today, we're tackling a big one, a topic that's bound to get some gears grinding. We're asking, are electric cars really the future? Are they really better for the environment? Or have we all been swept up in the hype? From environmental impact to the practical challenges of owning one, we're going to dive into the realities of electric vehicles and explore why they might not be the ultimate solution they're often made out to be. Let's get into it.
Electric cars are often championed as the saviors of our planet, promising zero emissions and a cleaner future. But is that really the full picture? Let's start by breaking down the environmental impact, starting from the very beginning of an electric car's life: production. Manufacturing an electric car, especially the battery, is far from green. This involves the extraction of lithium, cobalt, and nickel. These are key materials for battery production, and they come at a significant environmental and social cost. These materials are often mined in conditions that harm ecosystems and exploit workers in developing countries.
Let's look at lithium mining. Extracted primarily from brine pools in regions like South America's Lithium Triangle, the process of obtaining lithium is far from green. It's incredibly water-intensive, with an estimated 500,000 gallons of water needed to produce just 1 ton of lithium. This massive water consumption is depleting local water resources, impacting agriculture, and threatening the livelihoods of indigenous communities. In addition, the chemicals used in the extraction process can contaminate the surrounding soil and water, posing serious risks to local ecosystems and human health. Then there's cobalt, a metal crucial for battery stability. Over 70% of the world's cobalt comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But behind this vital resource lies a story of exploitation and environmental degradation. In the DRC, tens of thousands of children work in cobalt mines under hazardous conditions, earning less than $2 a day. These miners face serious health risks, including exposure to toxic substances and life-threatening accidents. The environmental impact is just as alarming. Cobalt mining leads to deforestation, destroying wildlife habitats and contributing to the loss of biodiversity. The toxic waste generated from the mining process often contaminates local water supplies, harming communities and ecosystems. So, while electric cars are seen as the clean alternative to fossil fuels, it's clear that the story isn't so simple. The hidden costs of lithium and cobalt extraction cast a dark shadow over the green promises of electric vehicles. As we push for a sustainable future, it's crucial that we address these challenges, ensuring that the shift to electric vehicles is truly ethical and is actually environmentally friendly. Moreover, we need to ask ourselves if we're committing to the right solution. Producing any vehicle causes an increase in the carbon footprint. EVs are no different. Studies have shown that the production of an electric car can produce significantly more CO2 than a conventional petrol or diesel car, primarily due to the energy-intensive process of battery production. In some cases, an EV has to be driven tens of thousands of miles before its carbon footprint equals that of a car powered by an internal combustion engine. Have you considered where your electricity is coming from? In many parts of the world, electricity is still generated by burning coal and natural gas. So while the car itself might be free of tailpipe emissions, the power it consumes is anything but. This effectively shifts the pollution from the tailpipe to the power plant. In the UK, for example, the production of power from renewable sources is certainly getting better, but as of 2023, almost 50% of the electricity produced was from non-renewable sources. The situation in the USA is even worse, with around 60% of electricity coming from non-renewable sources.
Let's talk more about batteries, the heart of any electric car, but also its Achilles heel. While battery technology has improved, it's still far from perfect. The average lifespan of an EV battery is around 8 to 10 years, after which its capacity diminishes dramatically. This means reduced range and efficiency, turning an expensive battery electric vehicle into a massive inconvenience. So what about a replacement battery then? When it comes to replacing these batteries, the cost is quite terrifying. We're talking thousands or even tens of thousands of pounds for a replacement, sometimes making it more cost-effective to just scrap the car and buy a new one. Not very environmentally friendly, but what happens to the old battery? Disposal and recycling of lithium-ion batteries is a complex and costly process. Many end up in landfills, contributing to environmental pollution. Recycling facilities for these batteries are still in their infancy, and the process itself is not entirely clean. Toxic chemicals can leak into the soil and water, posing long-term environmental hazards. In addition, with the projected surge in EV adoption, the world could soon face a battery waste crisis. Still think an EV is the green option?
Let's talk about the realities of owning an EV from a practical standpoint. This can be a real deal breaker for many. Range anxiety. Despite great progress being made, many electric cars still struggle with range limitations, especially when compared to their petrol or diesel counterparts. Sure, some high-end models boast ranges over 300 miles, but that's still not always the norm, especially in slightly more affordable models. For some people, an EV is a great option, but they are still a long way from fitting the needs of everyone. For those living in cities, and those with a short commute, range might not be an issue. However, for those living in rural areas where charging stations are few and far between, the anxiety of running out of charge in the middle of nowhere is real, and it's a major deterrent for potential EV buyers. Of course, the whole range anxiety issue is amplified by poor infrastructure. While the number of charging stations is increasing, it's still nowhere near as convenient as the ubiquitous petrol station. Fast chargers are often occupied or out of order, and slower chargers can take hours to fully recharge a battery. Imagine planning a trip where you have to factor in hours and hours of downtime just to charge your car. It's a logistical nightmare. With electric cars taking at least 10 times longer to charge than a quick fuel refill with an ICE-powered car, surely we would need at least 10 times more EV chargers than we currently have petrol pumps. Sure, some people are able to charge at home, so rarely need to use a public charger. However, in the UK, around 35% of the population rent their homes, so having a charger installed may not be an option. Around 1/3 of UK homes do not have a driveway, so owners are forced to charge at a public charger or work out some way of running power across the street to their car. Clearly still a lot of work to be done here.
But electric cars are cheap to run, right? Well, let's talk about costs. There's no denying that electric cars come with a hefty price tag. Whilst government incentives can help soften the blow a little, the upfront cost is still significantly higher than that of a traditional internal combustion engine car. And while it's true that running costs, like fuel and maintenance, can be lower under certain scenarios, the savings aren't always enough to offset the initial investment. Public charging is not cheap either, with a full charge often costing as much, or even more than it would cost to brim the tank of a petrol-powered car. Insurance for electric cars can also be costlier, partly due to the high cost of repairs, especially when it comes to the battery. In fact, many insurance companies have actually stopped providing cover for EVs due to the increased risk associated with them. Then there's depreciation. Electric cars tend to lose their value more quickly than traditional cars, primarily due to the concerns over battery life and the rapid pace of technological advancements. Let's look at a real-world example. How about a relatively small, relatively affordable electric car, the Vauxhall Corsa? Well, after 3 years, this car will have lost a massive 70% of its value. That's going to hurt.
So, what's the solution? While electric cars are grabbing all the headlines, and for some people they will work really well. However, what is the real problem we need to solve here? The actual problem is not that people aren't driving electric cars. The real problem is that we need to reduce our carbon footprint. Electric cars are not the only path to a sustainable future. We would ask, why have governments been so fast to push us down this route of battery electric vehicles? Why not allow the car makers and their incredibly intelligent engineers to deliver the solution to the problem we are trying to solve? The fact is, there are already several promising technologies on the horizon that could offer better solutions without some of the drawbacks of EVs. Hydrogen fuel cells, for example, offer the potential for zero-emission driving with the convenience of quick refueling. Unlike batteries, hydrogen can be produced sustainably and used in a way that emits only water vapor. However, the technology is still in its early stages, and the infrastructure needs significant development. Then there are advanced biofuels and synthetic fuels, which could allow us to keep using our existing internal combustion engines while drastically reducing emissions. These fuels are designed to be carbon neutral, meaning they don't contribute to the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. And surely, the most environmental solution of them all is to keep the car you own now for longer, rather than buying a new one. So, whilst electric cars are undoubtedly a part of the puzzle, they might not be the complete solution we are led to believe. As technology evolves, we could see a mix of energy sources powering our vehicles in the future, from hydrogen and biofuels to synthetic fuels and beyond. The big car makers are starting to publicly state this too, with Toyota chairman Akio Toyoda stating that no matter what the auto industry undertakes to promote growth, the electric car segment will only ever account for a maximum of 30% of the market.
Where does all this leave us then? While electric cars offer many benefits, they're not without their challenges. From environmental concerns and battery limitations to economic and practical realities, it's clear that electric vehicles aren't the perfect solution we've been led to believe. We hope potential buyers will make a properly informed decision when making their next purchase and truly understand the realities of electric car ownership, particularly when it comes to the blinkered belief that all electric cars are truly fantastic for the environment. If an EV works for your circumstances, great, go for it. But know all the facts first. So, as we've seen, the future of transportation is likely to involve a variety of technologies working together. Our belief is that we need to put finding the right solution back in the hands of the experienced and highly innovative engineers within the automotive industry. With multiple environmentally friendly solutions available, consumers can be left to choose the option that best fits their needs. What do you think? Are electric cars the way forward, or is there a better solution waiting to be discovered? Would you buy one? Let us know in the comments below. If you found the video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Talk Curve for more in-depth discussions on everything automotive. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.